Hi everyone, I'm Jenna with Brown Dog Craft Company. I'm coming to you live from Hudson, Wisconsin. Today's Tuesday, October 1st, 2024, and we're here, I'm so excited, for the More Than Autumn Bundle card class. So this class tonight features 4 really cute cards using one of my maybe favorite stamp sets or bundles in the mini catalog. There are a couple bundles that are up there on my list of favorites, and this is definitely toward the top. So I'll show you the cards we're making. I'll show you the stamp set that we're using tonight. If you are joining live, make sure to say hello in the comments and let me know where you're joining from, or make a comment if you're watching on replay. I do still have 4 card kits left for this class. So how the class works is you can purchase the card kits. It's $25, and I mail to you the card bases, the DSP, the die cuts, everything you need to make the cards we make today, except for the stamps and dies. You just need to add your own stamps and dies. You would not need to use these particular stamps that we use, so you could use an alternative set to make the cards. But if you want the cards to look exactly how I look, I would suggest this stamp set. And I just suggest this stamp set in general because it's one of my favorites. So, hi Christina, hi Nancy Sue. Sorry, getting settled in my chair here. Okay, quickly, before class starts, I wanted to talk about the upcoming classes and card kits that I have. And then I also designed the first class in November, which is going to be November 5th. It uses Sophisticated Sled, that bundle. It's an online exclusive and it's really pretty. So I'll show you those cards. Let me get us down here. Okay, so I'll show you what we're using today briefly in just a minute. But let's talk about, so I don't have class next week or the week after, but on Tuesday the 22nd, is the next time we'll have class, believe it or not, and that's going to be Coffee and Cards, Seasons of Green and Gold. That is also an online exclusive, and it's one that I didn't think I was going to like until I got it and opened it up and started playing with it. And I think Coffee and Cards, you get 5 cards, you get a full package of embellishments, and they come in a nice reusable envelope. It's $45. I thought I could have probably made 5 more cards. So 10 cards, I think easy, could have been made. So it's a really pretty set. I have 3 or 4 card kits left. So if you'd like the Coffee and Cards Seasons of Green and Gold, the cards I'm just about to show you, for $45, and I think I have 4 left over there. So it's a suite. It uses Greetings of the Season, which goes with these really cute tag dies. Hi, Cheryl. And then this also goes with Everyday Greetings. Sort of like it's like an add-on, or maybe Everyday Greetings is the add-on to this one, but really cute sentiments. And then it comes with Golden Greenery and the dies. And now this is the one that I didn't think I was gonna like, but they stamp beautifully. I don't know what it is about it. It's gorgeous. Very like classic Christmas. So one of my favorites for sure. An unexpected favorite. Hi, Katie. She's looking forward to some great inspiration tonight. Well, I hope I fulfill that. Okay. So, 4 kits left. These are the 5 cards we'll make. Okay, that's card 1. This is what the stamps look like. Aren't they so pretty? They're layering. So each image has 2 stamps that it layers. Okay, here's card 2. This is die cut from the vellum, and then these are stamped. So this one's like a fun fold. Okay, card 2. And this ribbon is gorgeous. It's like a satin, a vanilla satin. This is the Snowflake 3D embossing folder. This one is really pretty. We make our own background here. That's stamped. Okay, and then the 5th card is this one. This is die cut from the DSP. Okay, so those pieces are die cut from the DSP. Okay, so I have 5 of those left. And then the other thing, I haven't kitted the next class up yet. So signups are definitely still open. It's for the monthly subscription class, which every month you'll get a card kit based on the stamp set or the bundle or the suite, whatever it may be that I've selected. If you want to buy the card kit just as a one-off, like 1 month without a subscription, it's $55. Otherwise, if you sign up for a 6-month subscription, so you just pay every month by the first of the month, you save $10. So it'll only be $45 per month, and you're just committing that you're going to buy every month for 6 consecutive months, so for 6 months in a row. So October's bundle is the other bundle that's up on my top 1 or 2, and it's Snowy Wonder. Okay, and there's 2 different snow globes, and it die cuts all of the images. I think every single one of them it die cuts except for the holly leaves. And then the DSP, you can die cut with the dies too. Not every every piece of it, but a lot of it. And it's really pretty. So that class, you'll make 5 cards total. It will be 3 of this one, cute snow globe. Okay. Hi, Deanna. I think this is Deanna's first time watching. Welcome, if it is. Okay, so you'll make 3 of these, and then you'll make one that looks like this. It uses a ton of DSP, and I love it. Now, this ribbon, it's very shiny, and it doesn't like to stick. So I have it stuck on with a glue dot, but I think for class, we'll either use liquid glue or maybe even hot glue. It wants to peel off the glue dot. So this one opens like this. It's like a fun accordion fold with little images that we stamp and die cut on the inside, and you'd write your message here. Okay, so you'll make one of those, and then you'll make one of these. So this is a platform pop-up card, and the base of my sample here is not made with thick white, but the card we make for class and the card that you'll get in the supplies you'll get in your kit are made with thick basic white, so it needs the thickness of the thick basic white. So this will pop up, okay? And I'll show you how to make this. I'll give you written instructions. Thanks, Christina. I'll give you written instructions, and we'll go over it in class, okay? All right, here's my original sample I made. I made it with latte, the Latte Love, okay? So just a sample. This one's not part of class. It's just the one I was messing around with. So this class is still available for sign up. How do you sign up for classes? You should email me. So my email is hello@browndogcraftcompany.com. Okay, you can text me too. If you go to browndogcraftcompany.com, you can download my schedule, my calendar, my contact information is out there. So anyway, you want to get a hold of me, it's fine with me. Okay, the only other thing I wanted to show you, and then we'll get started with class, is the cards for November 5th Sophisticated Sled Bundle class. So this is an online exclusive. This is what the stamps look like. It's really cute, a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun making the cards. We make 4 cards in that class. Here's the first one. That's what the inside will look like. But there's the first one. So you'll get these die cut for you. Okay. So that's one. And this is the second one. We'll color the wreath. This will be die cut for you. We'll stamp on the background. You'll use some white ink. That'll be the inside. Okay. All of your bows for this class come already tied for you. Okay, there's the third card. So we'll stamp and color these. Really fun. That's the inside of that one. This class is $25 for 4 cards. Okay, and then here's the 4th card. Let the camera focus. There we go. Here's the 4th card. Okay, so these will all be die cut for you, and we'll assemble them in class. Okay, all right, so that's November 5th. I already have it done, believe it or not. And now, where did this come from? That came from this one. These are my notes. Okay, so those are upcoming classes and current classes and all that fun stuff, okay? Let me get all of this out of the way, and let's look at what we're making tonight. So tonight, we're using More Than Autumn stamps and dies. And we do use sketched plaid. Okay, if you don't have sketched plaid, you can use any background stamp. You could also use a ruler and your blends and make your own sketched plaid, right, of sorts. Or you could leave the background blank too. Or you could run it through an embossing folder. Lots of different options if you don't have this stamp set, okay? But this is what we're using today. And I think I have everything put on blocks. We'll see, okay? And we're making 4 cards. I have 4 card kits left. And these is just a little preview of the 4 cards we're gonna make, okay? All right, and they go pretty quick. The coloring takes the longest, so we're actually gonna do all of our stamping and all of our coloring up front, okay? All right, let's look at the ink that we need for class today. I should also mention that whenever you purchase a card kit, they all come with written step-by-step instructions and photos with measurements and ink colors used and all of that. So you always have that to refer back to, and you can refer back to the video as well here on YouTube. Okay, so we're using Real Red, Blueberry Bushel, Crumb Cake, Cajun Craze, Pecan Pie, Pumpkin Pie, and Memento. And I always like to say I think that's it, but we'll see, right? As the class goes on, sometimes we have to pull out one that I forget. Okay, and then look at this adorable bag. This is one of those marker holders where you unzip it and then you like pull this piece down. There's these little tabs right here that you grab onto, and you like pull this piece down and it exposes your markers. Yay! And yes, I could have just put these on my desk, but I really wanted to use this. So these are the colors. We've got Pecan Pie, Cajun Craze, Peach Pie, Blueberry Bushel, Real Red, Pumpkin Pie, Crumb Cake. And then these are, it's Stampin' Up! Deep 100 and Stampin' Up! Deep 200, but any darker brown. Early Espresso doesn't have a marker, so you have to find some darker brown. So you could use, oh, and we need copper clay too. I don't think I put copper clay on the list. I'm pretty sure copper clay is what color we do our cinnamon sticks in. You could use like bronze if you have bronze. And there's some other colors in this, like, whatever this category is. I think they were skin tone markers from a catalog or 2 ago. I can't remember. But there's maybe like 6 sets that were this, like, different color browns. Okay, so like a darker brown. All right, so those, oh, thanks, Cheryl. Okay, so that's what we're gonna use today to color. I'll give you my coloring tips. You're going to have your cards all in the envelopes that they belong in, as well as having 2 pieces of white. So this is what we're going to stamp on. Okay, so everything we're going to stamp on these white is going to be with Memento. Okay, so let's look at what we need to stamp. I'm going to open this up. So here I have all my blocks too. Look at, I come prepared. Okay, so we're gonna take the coffee cup right here and we're gonna stamp the coffee cup 3 times in our Memento. And we're gonna color that in. Okay, so I'm gonna stamp, we wanna leave just enough space to be able to die cut. And I'm just gonna put my ink pad here on a silicone mat because I don't know that that noise carries over nicely on the microphone when I tap on the ink pad that's on the glass mat. So, okay, so I'm gonna stamp these. So we need 3 of these. Okay. And we need 3 of the whipped creams. Okay. And there's a little trick with the whipped creams I'll show you on how to get the little whipped cream. Okay. So the little whipped cream is actually just a portion of this big whipped cream die cut out with one of the really little baby dies. It's super little. Okay, so we need 3 whipped creams there. We need 1 straw, which is this little guy. 1 straw. Okay, we need 3 cinnamon sticks. 1, 2, 3 cinnamon sticks. Okay, we need 2 marshmallows. 2 sets of marshmallows here. Okay, we need a pumpkin and a candy cane. Okay, and we need a gingerbread man. He's so cute. Okay, and then let me see. We need a pumpkin pie and 3 donuts. Pumpkin pie. Donut 1. Donut 2. Donut 3. Okay, so that's what you're going to want to stamp. Okay, that should be it for Memento. All right. Okay, that's what we're stamping. Now, I already stamped mine ahead of time, and I actually die cut them out. I just taped them into place, okay, for the sake of video. Okay, so normally I would not die cut before I color. I only did that for the sake of time. Okay, all right, so let's color. Let me move these stamps out of the way. I will zoom in. Maybe that's too much. Let's see. Oh, that's too much. Okay, all right, let's color. Let's see if I have any notes on how I colored some of them. All right, here's my donuts. Okay. All right. Okay, 1 coffee cup. Let's start with 1 coffee cup. We're gonna do real red and crumb cake. So I'm gonna pull out my real reds and my crumb cakes. Okay, and I like to start with my dark when I'm coloring. And I'm gonna color where I think the cup would be the darkest. So on the sides here. Okay. It's rounded, so generally wherever something is rounded, wherever it curves away from you, will look a little bit darker. Okay. And then I like to take my light marker and blend out. So go over what I already colored and blend out from there. Sometimes I color with this tip, and sometimes I color with the other tip. I tend to go in phases on how I color. Sometimes I color only with the brush tip. Then I decide I don't like that for a while, and then I color with this tip. So either one. Whoops, I colored outside the lines. Okay, now if you don't feel like there's enough shadow or dimension, you can always go ahead and go back with your dark. Now, I want this to be white, but I don't ever leave a white space white. I always give it a little bit of shadow. So what I'm going to take is my light crumb cake, and I'm going to go along just the edges here, the left and the right, just a little bit of ink. And then I'm going to take my blend, my colorless blender, which is just alcohol, and I'm going to blend out. Now it's gonna look a little funny. What it does is it wets your paper and pushes the alcohol ink around, but once it dries, it will look like just a shadow on white, okay? All right, let's color the peppermint stick, and that's gonna be with light. I'm gonna color every other, light real red, every other little stripe here, and then I'm gonna dot with my dark real red on the inside to give just a little bit of shadow. Okay. All right, the other thing we need for this card will be our marshmallows, and our marshmallows get colored the same for both cards. So I'm gonna use light crumb cake, and I'm gonna add one small line of crumb cake onto every marshmallow. Okay. Then I'm gonna come back with my color lifter and blend that out some. So that'll give our marshmallows the look that they're still white, but have a little bit of shadow and color to them. Okay. All right, I think we can color our whipped cream because our whipped cream gets colored the same way. So I'm going to color all 3 whipped creams the same way. So I'm going to take my light crumb cake, and I'm just sort of following the lines of each little like dollop of whipped cream, I guess. And just doing a thin line. Okay. And then, hi Christina. And then coloring that out with the lifter. One other thing that I used on these cards that is totally optional, 100% optional, is something called Glossy Accents, and it's made by Ranger. You can get it at Michael's or Joann, Amazon. And what it is it's technically a glue, but when you put it on and let it dry, it dries raised and glossy. I'll show you what it looks like on the finished card if you've never seen it before. I'm only coloring the very top of this whipped cream because if you'll see there's a little die that die cuts out just the top. I've already die cut it here, but that's the little dollop of whipped cream that goes on the pumpkin pie. Okay, so we don't need to color the rest of it because we're not using the rest of it. We're just using that very top piece for our pie. So once we get to the finished cards, I'll show you what the Glossy Accents looks like, but totally optional. Blend that out. Okay, and I think that's all of our white things. Oh, the straw. We'll do the straw because I think I did white on the straw. So just making sure to blend that crumb cake out. Okay. All right, let's see how I did the straw. Ooh, I did the straw and pumpkin pie and a little bit of crumb cake. So I'm going to do a little bit of crumb cake on the top left right there, and then every other. And then blend that out. And then I'm going to go, I'll start with my my light pumpkin pie. And color these with light. And then add a little dot of dark. Just in the corner right there. Okay. All right, let's do our cinnamon sticks. Those are copper clay. Here they are. Light copper clay and dark copper clay. So here's dark, and I'm just going to pick one side of the cinnamon stick and draw a dark line with my dark. And I'll do that on all of them. Okay, and then fill in the rest of the cinnamon stick with the light. And always go over what you already colored. These two colors are a really close match. I'm going to add a little bit more dark. Just for a little more definition. Okay, let's see. Let's do our pumpkin pie. So our pumpkin pie, the crust is going to be crumb cake, light and dark. So let me start with here's my pumpkin pie over here. Hi, Sandy. Okay, so I'm going to do, for the crust, I'm going to do a little bit of dark right here. And a little bit of dark in the corner here. Okay. And the rest will get light. Okay, and then pumpkin pie. We have to do our pumpkin pie with pumpkin pie, right? Okay, so I'm going to do my dark pumpkin pie up here. All right, who has pumpkin pie for Thanksgiving? And who has something else? I have to tell you, we don't eat pumpkin pie for Thanksgiving. We don't. We do, I like apple pie. That's one of my favorites. So we do apple pie, or apple crisp, or maybe both. Normally I bring some sort of pie, apple pie, to Thanksgiving. One time I did apple pie bars. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit more dark. Yeah, I mean, I'm just not a huge pumpkin pie fan. Okay. Sandy does apple too. Yes, apple I think is a great go-to. Let's do the donuts all together. We'll do the donuts at the end maybe. Okay, let's go back to pumpkin pie and do our Nancy Sue says it's a must-have for Thanksgiving. Yes, I know. When I was growing up, we had pumpkin pie. Whoops, for Thanksgiving. So for the pumpkin, I'm using, you could probably guess, pumpkin pie, light and dark. Okay, now the gingerbread man. What did I use for the gingerbread man? I think I used bronze. I'm not sure. Did I use bronze? Maybe. Any brown. You could use copper clay, pecan pie, those deep markers. You could use crumb cake if you want a light gingerbread man. I'm going to color most of him like this, and then to add shadow, I'm going to add a heavier coating on the right side, and then on the left side, I'm going to use a little bit of the color lifter. And that'll give them a little bit of shading. Just let it dry. Okay. All right, let's color this coffee cup now. This coffee cup is going to be white. So remember, white isn't really white. We're going to use crumb cake. So I'm going to color the coffee cup this time. This part on either side of the coffee sleeve with light crumb cake. And then I will blend out with my color lifter. So that'll give us our shadow on our white coffee cup. Okay. And this coffee sleeve will be pecan pie, so dark and light. So I'm going to come in from the sides. So I'm a huge Caribou coffee fan. I don't know if you guys have Caribou coffee where you live. I know they're not all over the country. But I'm a huge Caribou coffee fan. And I don't really like flavored coffee. Do you guys like flavored coffee? Like pumpkin mochas and all that? I'm not a huge fan. But I do like the mochas that they have around Christmas time. They call one a ho-ho mint mocha. It's a peppermint mocha, but it just has the cutest name, and it's one of my favorites. It's very decadent. Like, once or twice a season is good enough for me. Okay, and then our other mug also is quote-unquote white. So we will do light crumb cake on top of the coffee sleeve and below it. And then, hi Karen, welcome. So fancy coffee, I guess I'd like it a little bit around Christmas time, but otherwise I like my regular coffee. Okay, and then this one's gonna be blueberry bushel. Okay, so blueberry bushel, dark and light. Whoops, dark. And this is gonna be the coffee sleeve. And but from Caribou, my favorite coffee is, they have something called, it's cold pressed coffee, and they mix it with caramel and some milk. That's my favorite. It's so good. If you ever see me drinking something, sometimes if I'm live earlier in the day, not this late, but if I'm drinking coffee from Caribou earlier in the day, that's 99% chance that's what I'm drinking. It's so good. We went to, on stage last year was in Houston, and they have like 3 Caribous in all of Texas. And so, of course, we weren't close to Caribou, and we didn't have a car, so how would I have gotten Caribou anyway? But so we were drinking Starbucks, and that was fine. We walked really far to go to Starbucks. So I'm hoping there's Caribou in Raleigh, which is where Onstage is next year. I'll have to look ahead of time. Okay, let's do our donuts. So you could make your donuts chocolate. I made mine crumb cake or vanilla donuts. So I used dark crumb cake, and I did the base of the donut. Okay, so I guess they're not really super vanilla-y. Okay. And then this donut. Okay. Who likes donuts? I only like one kind of donut. Maybe that makes me weird, but I like a cake donut, very cakey, not flaky. Very cakey cake donut. No frosting. I don't want my donut to be sweet. I think there's a little bit of donut on the inside there, isn't there? I don't like a sweet donut. I think that's weird. I think most people like a sweet donut. Yeah, Karen, yes, we did. You know what, though? Everybody else got coffee, too. So everyone else must have been happy with our walk. Right? Okay. All right, now we're going to color the donuts, the frosting, 3 different colors, okay? So one is going to be peach pie, light and dark. And I just picked one side of the donut to color as the dark side. So that sounds like we're talking about Star Wars, the dark side. So I colored like the right side dark. Here with my dark marker. And then the other side with light. Okay. And just sort of blended it together at the seam there. All right. There are really cute sprinkles we're going to use for the donut card. All right, you guys, once we get done with our coloring, the cards are actually going to go pretty quick, I think. I'll take these apart and I'll sort of put them by which card they belong to. Okay, then the other donuts, Cajun Craze, dark and light. So here's dark. Jean says she's gonna need a donut for breakfast. My kids love donuts for breakfast. They don't get them very often, but they love donuts. Or I should say they love the frosting on donuts. I don't know. 2 of the 3 eat a full donut, like the donut part, but one of them only eats the frosting. Kind of funny. Like, that's not, you didn't eat a donut. You ate frosting. You ate powdered sugar. Okay. And then the last one is when I did that Stampin' Up 100 and 200 dark. Deep is what they're called. Deep. So I think the 200 is the darker one. Let's see. Yeah, just a little though. Okay. And see, I don't really know if that's darker or not. They're almost kind of not really the same color, maybe. But it's the closest to early espresso that we have. There isn't another brown, dark brown, I don't think. Unless I don't have it. I don't have all of these skin tone markers, and I don't even know you can buy them all anymore. I'm going to kind of blend these two together. Okay. All right, that is coloring. Okay. So donuts and pumpkin pie and coffee cups and gingerbreads and all these guys. Now, this is optional. I like to take a white jelly roll pen and I like to make highlights on my images. And all I do is draw lines. And I think there is probably a rhyme or reason to how you're supposed to draw lines, but I don't know what that is. So I just make it up. Okay. It does take a little bit of time to dry. This is just a white jelly pen. A Sakura is what it's called. And I like the thicker one, the 10, whatever that means. It's how thick the ballpoint is. Okay, just be careful. You will smear it with your hand. I have smeared it a million times with my hand. Okay, is that everything that I added highlights to? I think so. Okay, you want to add your highlights after you die cut, not before. Okay. All right, then you will die cut everything, and I'm going to set them aside according to what card they go in. So the little pumpkin pie. Okay. All the donuts go together. So the 3 donuts go together. Okay, so 3 donuts go together. And the pumpkin pie goes with the little whipped cream. And the white cup with the brown holder, which goes with marshmallows, 2 cinnamon sticks, and the straw, and then the gingerbread man. Okay. The red coffee cup goes with, oh, I think we needed 2 gingerbread mans. We need 2 gingerbread mans. Okay, I'll have to stamp, I'll have to color another one. It goes with marshmallows, a candy cane, a whipped cream, and we'll have to do a gingerbread man. Okay, and then the blue cup goes with whipped cream, and a pumpkin, and the other cinnamon stick. Okay, all right, and I'll do one, I'll color another gingerbread man. Okay, not right now. All right, let's look at card number 1. So card number 1 is the crumb cake card base, and it's going to be for our donuts. Okay, so inside you're going to have Nothing's Better Than. That's from Early Espresso, and that is using the die set. Okay, I think there's also a stamp that says Nothing's Better Than. This is a Radiating Stitches rectangle from white. Your white inside. You're going to have two whites, 4 by 5 1/4. One is for the inside, and one is for the outside. And then this is, it's the In Color Jute from last year. And I think this is the copper clay. Okay, and I tied it into a double bow for you. Okay, so you always are going to burnish your card base. Okay. All right, and let's do some stamping. So let's stamp on this piece first. Okay, so our donuts are gonna go something like this, and down here we're gonna stamp donuts in Cajun Craze. So our phrase is going to say Nothing's Better Than Donuts. And on the background, we're going to stamp these little sprinkles in 2nd generation crumb cake. I'll show you the sprinkles here. Donuts. Here's donuts. And here are the sprinkles. Okay, so I'm going to move these aside. So 2nd generation means you ink up, you stamp off, and then you stamp on your project. Ink up, stamp off, stamp on your project. And I'm turning the stamp as I go so that it doesn't look the same every time I stamp it. And I'm just going to fill in this background here. No real rhyme or reason where I stamp, just randomly. Turning the stamp every time, making sure I stamp off. Okay, I think one more over here and one more up here. Okay, isn't that cute? And then down at the bottom here, we'll do donuts. In Cajun Craze. And our phrase, we're going to use the die cut that says Nothing's Better Than, and then donuts. And we'll have our 3 donuts. So this is Cajun Craze right down here at the bottom right. Okay, and then take one of the white mats and we're going to stamp a donut in the bottom. I think I'm going to stamp it in 3rd generation Cajun Craze. I need to clean it off because it's has memento on it. So I think I'll do 3rd generation. So I'll stamp off once, twice, stamp on the project. Okay, that's cute. Okay. We're gonna pull out our crumb cake. We're gonna set this aside. We're gonna set this aside. We're gonna use our scratch paper and our crumb cake. We're gonna take this other white panel, and this is gonna be our card front panel. And in my MISTI already, I have the sketch plaid stamp, okay? And what I'm going to do, if you don't have a MISTI, you can just put this on a clear block. You don't need the MISTI, okay? I am going to put my cardstock right here. Line that up. Okay. And I'm going to take and put my scrap paper right over it, because what I actually want to do is stamp this in 2nd generation crumb cake. Okay. Oh, and you know what? I wonder, I stamped the 1st project in 1st generation, but I think I like 2nd generation. So let's ink this up really well. Okay, we're going to stamp off once onto the scratch paper. We'll pick up the scratch paper, and then we'll stamp our 2nd generation onto our panel. Okay. All right, now we have cute, can't get my page up. There we go. Now we have cute plaid background. Isn't that cute? Okay, I'm going to clean this stamp off. We're going to use it one more time on a different card, and we're going to use Blueberry Bushel. Okay. All right. Now, you could leave it just like this. It's adorable. What I did is I took light peach pie and light Cajun craze, and I drew lines. You do not need to draw lines. I just thought it might be fun to add. So I took my pencil, not my pencil, my marker, and just followed the line down all the way. Okay, and I did that maybe 2 times this way. And twice this way. It is a little tricky on your eyes. It sort of feels kind of funny. Like you can't quite figure out where you're coloring. The crisscrossing lines like plays a little trick on your eyes. Okay, then I'm going to take peach pie, light peach pie, and do this twice each way. Okay. You could use a ruler. I may have said that. Okay, and then I think I'll go here. All right, whoops, that is not straight. I think that'll be covered. Okay, all right, isn't that cute? Just different, right? Different. Okay, all right, now we can put our card together. Okay, so we're gonna do this on the inside and this on the outside. I glued this one down and this one down, and And this on the outside. Okay. And it's 4 by 5 1/4, so there's a nice margin there. This is gonna go here. I did pop it up with foam, with dimensionals here. And I was somewhere, it wasn't last weekend, the weekend before, I think, and I saw someone use their take your pick tool to get the dimensional backers off, and I thought that was really smart because I struggle getting those off. Okay, make sure you have your donuts in the right direction, you know, so your card opens to the bottom here. And we're going to add our donuts. So I'll add a couple, dimensionals to each of our donuts. The donut or the dimensionals stick to my nails really bad and don't like to come off. Okay. Oh my gosh, the backers come off so nice. Okay. So I did first I did the peach donut in the center here, and then I did this Cajun donut on the right, and I did the espresso-ish donut. Sorry, that's left. The espresso-ish donut on the right. And then our nothing's better than is going to go right here. And then we'll add our embellishments, which your embellishments, I didn't even tell you what they are. They're the sequins, the like metallic-y sequins. Okay, this is just a fine tip glue bottle I'm using. It works well for these little fine areas. And then a reverse tweezers to help me get everything here. All right, nothing's better than donuts. I don't know if I agree, but it's a cute sentiment, regardless of if I agree. And then our little bow will go into our glue dots here and go right here in this open space. Okay. And then this one I did, let's see, some brown gems. So you should have 3 brown gems. Okay, now you can leave the card just like this. However, if you would like it to be shiny, you can add glossy accents and they will be shiny. Glossy accents do take a while to dry, and so don't put your finger in it. They come in this little bottle. They also have a big bottle. It's made by Ranger. All you do is squeeze it on. It goes on milky, but when it dries clear. It's also a glue, so if you needed to glue something, you can use this too. Like you can put glitter in it, I guess is what I'm getting at. And I should have done this before I put the bow on, but you know how that goes. Okay. All right. So we have glittery, not glittery, glossy frosting. Okay, so I'm gonna go put that off to the side here and not touch it. Okay, let's do the next card. Next on my pile, I have the pecan pie card. Okay, and this one has, oh, I almost dropped everything on the floor. This one has some twine. Oh, look at, I already cut my embellishments and put them there. That's always good. We're going to stamp on this. It has some DSP. It has a pecan pie mat for the front and a white piece for the inside. Okay, so let's stamp our inside while we're at it. I stamped a little pumpkin, and the front's going to say, nothing's better than pumpkin pie except maybe you. So it's going to get a little pumpkin in orange. Where's the pumpkin? Here's the pumpkin. So little pumpkin in pumpkin pie. And then except maybe you in pecan pie. And then we'll stamp on our other piece also. Except maybe you. Now in the center of this piece, it's in crumb cake, we're going to stamp nothing's better than, and that's in pecan pie, right in the center. Nothing's better than. Pumpkin is going to go in pumpkin toward the bottom, and it's going to say pumpkin. And I don't think I got the word pie out. Nothing's better than pumpkin pie, and that's in, here's pie. Pie is in pecan pie. Okay, that's our stamping. Now all we have to do is glue, since we have everything already colored. Okay, so our DSP will go on the left side of our pumpkin pie mat, and I'm going to use my tape runner. I'm trying really hard to use a tape runner. It's going okay. All right, that's going to go on the left. Right here. Okay. I'm going to use my tear and tape and attach my longer piece of twine as a sandwich. So 1, 2, 3. We're going to make a tear and tape sandwich here. So I'm going to put tear and tape on the back of this piece. Peel those backers off. And take this piece of twine and put it over, right over the seam there. Okay. And then adhere it with tear and tape, make a sandwich. Okay, and then this gets glued to our card front, or taped, whatever it is. As you can see, I'm trying to get myself to use more tape runner, but it's not my preferred. It's not my preferred method of adhesion. I prefer liquid glue, but I'm trying. Okay, this will go right on the front. Okay. This is going to get popped up with dimensionals. This is going to go centered left to right, top to bottom. And then we'll add our pumpkin pie. Right here. And we need our little whipped cream on top, right here. Okay, and then our brown mug. Not our brown mug, our white mug, I guess, with a little brown center. And we'll do marshmallows. I can tuck those in with my hand, I think. Right in here. And then behind here, we're going to do 2 cinnamon sticks and a straw. So I'm just going to put some glue on the back of my cinnamon sticks. There's 1. Two. And then our straw. Okay, and little gingerbread man right on the side here. Okay. We're going to use a glue dot to take your twine bow. And that's going to go right in the center sideways here. So it looks like we tied a bow with our twine. Okay, even though we didn't. Okay, and our embellishments. Oh, they get stuck to my mat. That big one up here. It got stuck to the mat. Here it is. Okay, glossy accents. I did glossy accents on the marshmallows and the whipped cream. Okay, all right, card number 2. Done. Okay, I'm going to set this aside to dry and we'll go on to the next. I have my other pumpkin one. This is the one that has the blueberry card base. Okay, you're going to have this long piece of twine. You're going to have a little piece of white for a sentiment. You're going to have all these die cuts. Pumpkin, spice, a leaf, either coffee or latte, yours will say. Coffee or latte. This little die cut piece, and this one uses gold embellishments. You're going to have 2 whites, 1 for the inside, thanks Jean, 1 for the outside, this is our panel, and then a piece of peach pie. So this is when we're going to pull out our Misty again, and this time we're going to stamp this background in 2nd generation blueberry bushel. Okay, so I'm going to ink up my plaid stamp here, sketch plaid stamp. I know you can't see it all, but with blueberry bushel. And I'm going to stamp it once onto this scratch piece of paper. Take our scratch paper out and stamp onto my background here. Cheryl says, I like the glossy accents. Where do you get them? Cheryl, I would suggest Amazon. They're made by Ranger. You could do like Michael's or Joanne. Okay, you can get them in a little bottle or a big bottle. That's a little bottle. It lasts a really long time. Okay, whoops, see, glossy accents. All right. Okay, I'm just gonna wipe this off quick. And then we're gonna leave our blueberry bushel out. We're gonna stamp. Our sentiment is going to read, "You had me at pumpkin spice," but pumpkin spice is there are die cuts. Okay, so this is going to be the front of our card. Isn't it cute? We're not going to do anything else to that one, but this one we're going to say, "You had me at." You had me at in blueberry, and I'm going to stamp it on one end here. You had me at. And what did I stamp on the inside? A little pumpkin. So I'm going to take my other white landscape orientation, and that gets a little pumpkin. Okay. All right, that's it for stamping. Okay. Now this, you could trim with a paper trimmer. You could use your scissors. I'm going to use my scissors and trim it out right there. You had me at. Okay. All right, let's see. This just does not want to work for me. Does it work for you guys? Am I the only one who just wants to cause me grief? I mean, that is how my life goes sometimes. Nothing is easy some days. Some days everything goes perfect, and other days nothing goes perfect. The problem is you never know when those days are going to be. Katie says, "I really like that large plaid stamp." I know, me too. I like that stamp, and I like the plaid embossing folder. There's a 3D plaid embossing folder, and I love both of them. I thought we needed plaid stamp with plaid DSP on this one, but you could also do the plaid embossing folder. That would be really cute too. Oh my goodness. I like to use the tape runner because I feel like it's quicker when I'm live. That's literally the only reason why I bought it. I don't think it's quicker. Needless to say. It would be if it worked every time I put it down on paper. Maybe I'm pushing too hard. I have a very heavy hand with things, so maybe I'm pushing too hard. I have a problem with that. Okay, we are going to put this here. I'm going to put some dimensionals on here. I'm going to put one at the end, one in the very middle, and one over here. Now, we're going to put our ribbon behind this first, right in the center of the card. And then we're going to push this down. So what I'm actually going to do is take 2 glue dots, one at a time. I'm going to put one here and one here. And that's what I'm going to push this into. So I'm going to start it with one end in the glue dot here. And I'm going to make little circles. Okay. So like here. And here. See, and now like these circles are, this is thinner than where I had it before. I don't think I like it so thin. I'm going to spread them out a little. Where are my glue dots? Lisa says, "I can't use Stampin' Up! Tape runners." I don't know why it won't work. I want it to work very badly. It doesn't want to work for me though. All right, let's space that out a little more. All right, right here. And I'm going to sort of loop it around. We're going to make a little circle. Okay. Push it into the glue dot. Okay, now this is going to help hold it down right here. I'm going to trim that excess off. There we go. Okay. All right. Our little latte cup is going to pop up here. Okay. Our little pumpkin is going to hide behind here. Where are you, little pumpkin? Come out wherever you are. Here he is. He's gonna tuck back in there. Okay, yours either says coffee or latte. It's peach pie. It's a little die cut. And I'm using my glue here. That's gonna go here. Okay. And then our little leaf, I have the inside portion of the leaf, but you should have the outside portion of the leaf. And that's gonna peek out from right here. Okay. And then pumpkin spice. You could run this, if you were making this at home, you could put adhesive sheet on it. And you wouldn't have to glue it quite the way I am. Oops, that didn't work. If you used adhesive sheet. I don't mind gluing. It's not terrible. It does pop up like that. That is the one downfall. Pumpkin spice. Stay. Stay. Okay. We need to do You Had Me At. And I'm going to trim it down a little bit with a long pair of scissors. You had me at. You had me at. Okay, so it's pretty thin. And I'm going to use a little piece of foam tape. Okay. Oh, my desk is a mess. Off to the right and the left, I can't even see my desk space, you guys. It's ridiculous. Okay, whoops. Okay, so it's gonna say, you had me at pumpkin spice. Okay, last things we need to add. We need to add our whipped cream. And our cinnamon stick. Okay. Okay. All right, embellishments. These ones I believe are gold. I have one right here. You have 3. 1. I have a whole sheet. They're all stuck together. 2. 3. Okay. Now for glossy accents on this one, just on the whipped cream. Okay. Card 3. Finito. Isn't it cute? I don't want to open it up because the glossy accents might fall around. Okay. All right. So here it is when the glossy accents is dry. Okay. All right, card 4. This is, I don't know if it's my favorite, but I really like it. This one is our winter card, and it uses the peppermints, which I don't think you can buy right now. Okay, you're going to have a white bow. This piece of paper is extra. You can use it for whatever you'd like. Okay, you don't need it for the class. We have a piece of real red. You have a hot cocoa from pecan pie. You have a tag, a white tag. This is the DSP. Okay, take a bow is what it's from, and then a white inside. Okay, this is the easiest card to put together, but maybe one of my favorites. Okay, so all we're gonna do is glue this to the front. Glue our DSP to the front. Okay, don't lose your peppermints. They are important and they are hard to come by at the moment. So I just put glossy accents in my cart. Cheryl, I really hope you like them. They're some of my favorite. I really like them. We have, like Stampin' Up! Has their own form of glossy accents, but not in clear. It reminds me of puff paint. Like, did any of you used to like make your own shirts or write on your own shirts? Like I remember, so I'm an 80s baby. And so my mom would buy sweatshirts, like black sweatshirts or whatever color. I remember them being black for some reason. And she would, we're going to stamp peppermint on this little piece of real red in real red. She'd buy the sweatshirts and we would use puff paints and draw things. And I think we used stencils of some sort. But I remember we did it on the kitchen table and it was like one of my favorite things ever as a kid. Okay, so this is getting, so that's what our Stampin' Up's version of glossy accents. They're not clear. They go on opaque and they dry opaque, but there's metallics and red, silver, gold, and then there's white. Maybe that's all there is. Okay, peppermint. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to say this calls for peppermint, hot cocoa. Okay, so I'm actually going to trim my peppermint to be a little thinner. You could use a paper trimmer. I'm being lazy and using a pair of scissors. Okay, and above that it's going to say this calls for. So I'm going to put my hot cocoa down first with glue. And this is where we need to color another gingerbread man because I forgot we needed 2. I only counted 1 earlier today when I was prepping for class because I missed 1 apparently. Okay, this calls for hot cocoa. If anyone is down where the hurricane is affecting right now or was affecting, I hope everything's okay. I know this hurricane has caused quite a lot of damage and destruction and whatnot, I suppose, as hurricanes ought to do or like to do. But and I heard tonight someone was telling me that they think there's another hurricane coming on the other side, maybe. I don't know, I didn't look into it, but I don't know if that's right or wrong. But okay, this is gonna go right here. And above it, we're going to say this calls for in real red. Okay. This calls for not just hot cocoa. This calls for peppermint hot cocoa. It reminds me of my peppermint drink that I like from Caribou. My Ho-Ho Mint Mocha. Oh, and I think on the inside I stamped a candy cane. Candy cane and the gingerbread man. So candy cane and gingerbread man and pecan pie, I suppose. Or crumb cake would be fine too. He's so stinking cute. Where is he? Here he is. I think I could make a card background with these little people. Wouldn't they be adorable for a background. Okay, let me find, I don't know where I stamped all of those things. Here he is. Here they are. Let me color this gingerbread man and die cut him out quick. We need him. He just goes with this card. So this card isn't complete without him, is what I should say. Gingerbread man, where are you? Here you are. All right, tape this down. And die cut. Oh my gosh, I can't even turn my die cut handle. I have so much stuff on my desk. Should I take a picture and post it on the community page so you guys can see the destruction that occurs during stamp class? Should I show you? Oh, you wouldn't even believe it. Maybe your craft room looks the same. You could tell me that your room looks the same. Maybe it does. Maybe not. Maybe it's just me. Okay, this is going to get put on dimensionals. Okay, and my garbage is overflowing today too. It's just been one of those days, weeks, months, years. Isn't that a song? I think that's a song. Okay. We need our mug. Oh, this has to go on the inside. Okay. Good boy, Milo. Oh, he's dreaming. Okay, then we got to put together our mug. So, Cheryl says, yes, mine is bad. All right, it's not just me then, huh? It's just like a bomb went off. Okay, so our hot cocoa is going to go down here. Okay. And our little marshmallows are going to go down here. And our whipped cream will go on the top. Ooh. So the marshmallows just kind of pile up right there, and whipped cream here. And last but not least, we need a candy cane. I don't know where my fine tip. Oh, we need our sentiment. Oh, and our gingerbread. We're not done yet. Okay, little gingerbread gets popped up. Oh, he's too little for a full dimensional. I need a mini dimensional. They're somewhere. In the meantime, I'm just going to use this. Make my own dimensional. My own size. It's like, he's got to go right there. We can't forget this and our peppermints. Oh, and our bow. Okay, and our bow, which is a really big, adorable bow. Goes up here. Okay, and our peppermints. So I'll do a little and a big. Oh no, that's a little. So I'll do little and big. Yay! Okay, and then glossy accents on hot cocoa. Not hot cocoa. You could do it on hot cocoa. That would be cute if you did it on the hot cocoa letters. I meant to say whipped cream. I was thinking whipped cream, but reading hot cocoa and marshmallows. Okay, that's card 4, guys. Isn't it cute? I love it. Okay, I'm going to set that one aside. I'm going to pull my other ones into view, and you tell me which one you like best, okay? So here was number 1. Number 2. Number 3. And here is number 4. Okay, number 4 is my favorite. But I also like number 3. Okay. So I have 4 kits left if you like these. Okay. $25 each. I will mail them to you for that. Okay. All right. While you're deciding which one you like best, I'm going to wake up Milo because he's napping. Milo bear. Hi. Hi, sleepy bear. Hi. Are you ready for your snacks, Milo baby? Are you ready for your snacks? Are you? Oh, Jean likes number 4. Me too. All right, let me flip the camera. Oh, these stacks. He loves them so much, but they smell so bad. All right. Here he is. There he is, right there. Oh, hi, Milo, baby. Hi. Oh, good boy, Milo. Can you sit? Can you sit? Sit. Oh, good boy. Good boy. Good boy, Milo. Say hi to everyone, Milo bear. Say hi. Oh, good baby. Good baby. Cheryl says all are cute. Maybe number 4 is best. Oh, good boy, baby. Good boy. Good boy. Yes, he's such a good puppy. Oh, good boy. All right, guys. That's what I have for you. I hope you had fun tonight. It took us about an hour and a half, but we did spend a little bit of time ahead of time talking about what cards are coming up and all of that. So, all right. Well, let me know if you have questions. Otherwise, I will see you. I'll post a picture of the crafter math, right? As we like to call it, our crafter math. I'll post a picture of the crafter math. And I'm not cleaning it up tonight. No way, Jose. I'll clean it up tomorrow or the next day. Otherwise, I'll see you on Tuesday, October 22nd at 8:30 p.m. Central for Coffee and Cards. We'll make the 5 really pretty Christmas cards. So it feels kind of weird to be making Christmas cards, but it's also like October, so I think it's probably time to make Christmas cards, even though it feels like fall or summer. It's been summery here, like 89 degrees yesterday. Really strange. So, okay. All right. So I will see you all next time. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of the week. I'll see you later. Take care. Bye now.